Hello, welcome to Godfrey Chi YouTube videos. I want to say thank you all for all your supports, for the subscription, for the comment sections, for all the suggestions and the topics you want us to also treat. Don't forget to subscribe. Godfrey Chi is the YouTube channel. Then, if you want to, you can also visit our Facebook page, Dr. G Global Academy. Should you want to book an appointment with our team, we have the best of teachers that will train your children for all kinds of exams. Today, we are looking at calculations involving upper and lower bound, and we are going to be looking at some of the operations that we will be looking at. First, addition and multiplication. What do we do when it comes to upper and lower bound in terms of addition? First, if you are having the lower bound of result, that means you are going to get a minimum value. They can ask the question in form of minimum value ahead. So lower bound of the result, you are going to be adding the lower bound plus the lower bound. And the same goes for the upper bound. So if they ask you maximum value or maximum addition result, you are going to use upper bound of the result is upper bound plus the upper bound. Where do we apply this? We apply this in perimeter of shapes. Perimeter of a rectangle. You know the perimeter of a rectangle is you are going to be adding the length and the breadth multiplied by 2. So what you do, you are going to add for the lower bound, minimum perimeter now, you are going to be adding the lower bound length plus the lower bound breadth, then you can multiply by 2 to get the perimeter of a rectangle. If it is maximum perimeter of the rectangle, you are going to be adding the upper bound length plus the upper bound breadth, and you multiply by 2. That goes for the addition. Then for the multiplication, in case we are having lower bound of the result is lower bound times lower bound, and the same goes for the upper bound. It is upper bound times the upper bound. Where is this applied? If you are to find the area of a rectangle, like length times breadth, so they ask you what is the minimum area of the rectangle. So I want to use the lower bound length times the lower bound breadth. You use that. If it's the maximum area of the rectangle, you're going to be using the what? The upper bound length times the what? The upper bound breadth. That is applicable for areas of even parallelograms, triangles and the likes. They're all about subtraction and division. So list that the lower bound of the result is lower bound minus the upper bound. Take for instance, you have 2-digit numbers, and let's say you have 13 and 10. For 13, you're going to get upper and lower bound. And for 10, you're going to get upper and lower bound. And they ask you, what is the minimum difference? It means lower bound of the result. So you use the lower bound of 13, and you take away the upper bound of 10. You can see that answer. Then if it is the upper bound of the result for the subtraction, they will ask what is the maximum difference. Maximum difference, you use upper bound of 13, take away the lower bound of 10. That is how this is applicable. Then for division, lower bound of the result, you use lower bound divided by the upper bound. This is applicable. The same thing goes for upper bound of result, upper bound divided by lower bound. Where is this applicable? Take for instance speed. Speed is distance over time, and you are given some numbers. You are going to find, for if it's distance, you are going to find the upper and lower bound for distance. If it's time, you find the upper and lower bound for time. So they ask you minimum speed. What do? Lower bound distance divided by the upper bound time. Then, if it is maximum speed, which is the upper bound, you use the upper bound distance divided by the what? By the lower bound time. This is where it's applicable. So these are the calculations that involve bounds. If you note this, you won't have any problem when it comes to anything that has to do with what? Upper bounds and lower bounds. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Then also visit the Dr. G Global Academy on Facebook for any kind of consultation. Thank you.